about nervous tissue in your 9th class biology. In the school, you need to compete with your friends in different situations and different activities. In some competitions, you may win. Some, your friend may win. If you win, you feel good. If you lost, what is your feeling? It is so sad. Is it right? Who is responsible for that victory and for your failure? What are you thinking? Yes, inside our body, we have a superhero. Who is that hero? Nervous system. Our nervous system is responsible for our victory or failure. Is it right? Yes. And today we are going to discuss about nervous tissue. This nervous tissue is present in our nervous system. Okay, our nervous system is just made up of nervous tissue. This nervous tissue contains different varieties of cells, and those cells are called as neurons. Nerve cell is also called as neuron. And glial cells. Our nervous tissue, it is just made up of neurons and glial cells. Glial cells are the helping cells of neurons. Then, if you observe the structure of your nerve cell, it just resembles like a tree. The neuron, it just resembles like a tree. Neurons are very excitable cells, electrically charged cells, excitable cells that can receive, process and transmit information. They can able to transmit the information from one body part to other body part. They can receive the situations, what is going in front of us, what we are doing. All that thing is received by our neurons and they can be processed. Later, they just transmit the information from one place to another place like a transport system. And if we talk about the structure of the neuron, it just made up of three important structures. What are that? Cyton, this one, cyton, dendrites and axon. The cyton is also called as cell body. This part is also called as cell body or cyton. And the hair-like projections which are arising from this cyton are called as dendrites. And the long projection towards the back side or towards the cell body contain two types of projections. Some are very small hair-like projections. Those are called as dendrites. Another projection which is very long is called as axon. Axon. And the cyton, it contains a nucleus. Cyton contains a prominent nucleus and cytoplasm. If you observe, we may find small particles. Those are called as Nissl granules. Nissl granules. These are Nissl granules and cytoplasm is present, nucleus is present in the cyton. And the dendrites, these are the hair-like projections. They may carry information from one neuron to another neuron. And if you see an elongated projection is called as axon. And the axon, some neurons may have a axon which is covered with a myelin sheath. For the protection and insulation, the axon is covered with a myelin sheath. Some axons, they don't have any myelin sheath for the protection. Those are called as non-myelinated axons. If axon contains myelin sheath, that is called as myelinated axon. Okay? These is the sheath which covers and protects, insulate the axon. Only some variety of neurons may have myelinated sheath, and some other variety of neurons, they does not contain a myelinated sheath. If axon contain myelin sheath, then it is called as myelinated axon. If the axon is not having any myelin sheath, then it is called as non-myelinated axon. Okay, If you find that these axons are leaving some gaps, and those gaps are called as nodes of Ranvier or Ranvier nodes. Myelinated sheath just leave some gaps on the axon. Those gaps are called as nodes of Ranvier. Okay, and here the neurons are of two types. Neurons are of two types. One is sensory neurons and another one is motor neurons, and different varieties of neurons are there. For your 9th class, these two are enough. Sensory neurons. They may sense the information, take the information, and they carry that information to the central nervous system. Another motor neurons, they just carry the signals from the central nervous system to different parts of our body. Okay? Like that, these sensory neurons and motor neurons, they work hard inside our body, and within few seconds we may get answers for any kind of problems because of these sensory and motor neurons. And we have another type of neurons also, which are also called as associated neurons, which we are going to discuss in your 10th class. Nervous tissue, it is very easy to understand. Nervous tissue mainly, here before going to discuss about nervous tissue, we need to discuss about nervous system. Nervous system is mainly made up of brain, spinal cord and nerves. Here the nervous tissue is made up of different varieties of cells, and those cells are called as neurons. Neurons are of two types, sensory neurons, motor neurons. Sensory neurons carry the information from different body parts to the central nervous system. And motor neurons, they carry the information from the central nervous system to different parts of our body. If we talk about the structure of the neuron, it mainly made up of three parts. Cyton, this one, cyton, dendrites, axon. Cyton contains the cytoplasm, nucleus and micelle granules. Dendrites, the cyton is situated with a hair-like projection called as dendrites. And the cyton is also have long elongated projection called as axon. Some axons are covered with myelin sheath. Those are called as myelinated axons. Some axons, they are not covered with the myelin sheath. Those are called as non-myelinated axons. And the axon ends with some root-like structures. Those are called as axon terminal or nerve terminals. Okay, by using these dendrites and nerve terminals, they just pass the information from one neuron to another neuron. It is very important that neurons are excitable cells. You need to remember, those are excitable cells that receive, process and transmit the information throughout our body. Okay, this is about nervous tissue. I think you understand well, and I hope that today's class was interesting. We discussed about superhero of our body, that is neuron, which can able to carry the information from brain to our feet. Okay, neurons, some neurons, they may have 1 meter of length, some neurons 2-3 meters length. In elephant, it is about 3 or 4 meters in length. In blue whale, it is about 30 to 40 meters also. Like that, the size, it just varies from one organism to another organism. I hope that today's class was interesting. If you like this video, please do subscribe to our channel and stay tuned to our channel for more and more interesting videos of biology.